Today, we're going to talk about something that's running in the background of, well, pretty much everything you do online. We're talking about MySQL. It's this hidden engine, this invisible force behind so many apps and websites. So let's pull back the curtain and really see what's going on under the hood. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You're on your favorite app, you add something to your cart, maybe you beat a high score in a game. Then you close it. You come back a day later, a week later, and it's all still there. Your cart is saved, your score's on the leaderboard. How does it know? Well, that's not magic. That's a database. Okay, so what is a database? The best way to think about it is like a super organized digital filing cabinet. And something like MySQL, that's the system that manages the whole cabinet. You could call it the master librarian. It's the software that decides how to store everything, how to label it, so you can find any piece of information in the blink of an eye. And you know what? This whole filing cabinet idea is actually the perfect way to understand this stuff. So let's dig in and see exactly how this cabinet is put together. So check this out. It lines up perfectly. In the database world, we talk about a table. Well, that's just a single drawer in our filing cabinet, right? Maybe it's the user's drawer. And a row? That's just one folder inside that drawer. Say the file for one specific person. The columns are the labels on that folder. You know, name, email, phone number. It's that simple. And this structure, it's the bedrock of everything we're about to do. Okay, so if a table is a drawer, how do we actually build one? Well, in database speak, we create a table. This is the part where we decide exactly what our folders are going to look like before we put anything in them. Now, this might look a little intimidating, like a bunch of code, but trust me, it's just a set of plain English instructions. We're literally telling MySQL, hey, create a table for me and call it users. Then we're saying what labels we want on our folders. We need an ID, that's a number, that's what int means. We need a name and an email. And that VARCH bit, that's just us telling it to save enough space for about 100 letters. That's it. We're building an empty drawer and getting the labels ready. And voila! Just like that, our users table exists. It's completely empty, sure, but it's perfectly structured. It's a brand new drawer just waiting for us to start filling it up with files. Remember that primary key thing we put on the ID? This is super important. Think of it like a unique serial number that gets stamped on every single file folder. It makes sure that no two folders are ever identical. This is crucial because it stops you from having duplicate users, and it makes finding one specific person incredibly fast, even if you have millions of them. All right, so our filing cabinet is built. Now what? How do we actually use it? Well, there are pretty much 4 basic things you can do, and they have this handy little acronym, CRUD. It stands for Create, Read, Update, and Delete. This is basically the language we speak to our database. First up is C, for Create. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's how we put a brand new file into the drawer. In our case, it's how we add a new user to the system. And the command for this? It's just as straightforward. You're literally saying, insert into the user's table, and then you tell it what to put in the folders. A name of Alice and an email of alice@example.com. It's a direct command. File this new record for me. And boom, Alice is now officially in our system. But look closely. The database gave her an ID of 1 all by itself. See? That's that primary key we talked about, doing its job, giving every new record its own unique tracking number right from the start. Okay, so we've put data in. Next is R for read. How do we get that data back out? This is how we tell the database, hey, go find me a file, or maybe a whole bunch of files, and show me what they say. And again, the command is like we're just talking to it. We say select, which means show me. The star means everything. So select everything from the users table where the name is Alice. It's like asking the librarian to go pull every folder that has Alice written on it. But, you know, things change. People get a new email. Maybe we made a typo when we first entered their name. So what do? That brings us to U for update. This lets us go back and change information that's already in a file. Now look very closely at this command. It says update the users table. Okay, simple enough. Set the name to Alicia. Got it. But this last part, the where ID equals 1,
This is maybe the most important part of the whole command. This tells the database exactly which file to change. Without it, we might accidentally rename every single user to Alicia, so you got to be specific. And there you have it. The name is changed. And because we used that unique ID, it was like a surgical strike. We changed only Alicia's record and nobody else's was touched. That precision is what makes databases so powerful.
And that brings us to the last one, D for delete. And yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the digital paper shredder. It permanently removes a record. And just like when we updated, using that where clause is absolutely 100% critical. You have to be sure you're only shredding the one file you mean to.
So, okay, managing one drawer of files is pretty cool. But the real magic, the thing that makes databases truly amazing, is how they can connect information from different drawers. This is where things get really powerful.
We do this with something called a join. Just imagine you have your users drawer, but now you also have an orders drawer. A join is what lets you link them together. You can pull out a user's file and all their order files at the same time. An inner join would show you only the users who have placed an order, but a left join would show you all your users and just list their orders next to them if they have any. This is literally how a website builds that My Order history page you see all the time. The other superpower here is what we call aggregation. With just one simple command, group by, you can tell the database to take thousands, even millions of records and summarize them for you instantly. You can go from this giant, overwhelming list of every single user to a neat little chart like this one in the blink of an eye. This is the entire foundation of business analytics.
So let's zoom out for a second. We've gone from a simple filing cabinet idea all the way to connecting and summarizing huge amounts of data. So why does any of this matter to you? Well, because this whole concept, this idea of organized data, it literally runs our entire world.
No, seriously, think about it. Your social media feed, that's just a really complex database request. That shopping cart you have online, it's a record in a database table. Your bank account balance, the movies your streaming service recommends, the leaderboard in your favorite game, every single one of those things is being powered by a database like MySQL, working away completely unseen. So at the end of the day, every time you click something or like something or buy something online, you're having a conversation with a database. You're creating data, you're reading it, you're updating it. It's become the unspoken language of our digital lives, which leaves us with one final big question to think about. What is your data revealing?